Okay, so talking a bit of Hearts of Steel, as you could tell by the title of the video. So I was looking at these in-hand images of Optimus and the Starscream 2-pack that came out not too long ago, and I was thinking about everything and looking back. Now, at first, I was really hyped for these figures when they first got revealed a few months ago, and I was contemplating getting them. But now that we're seeing stuff in hand with these figures and more in-depth pictures, it's got me thinking, and plus comparing it to the actual comic designs they're based off of, I feel like Hasbro skimped out a little bit. I feel like these weren't done to their full potential. Now, obviously, any mainline figure is never at their full potential because that's just how it is for mass-produced Hasbro figures. I feel like even for Hasbro's standards, they could have been a bit better, especially because of them being deluxe class. I feel like they were really hindered in terms of what they could have done for detail, paint, articulation, engineering, all that stuff. I feel like these could have been Voyager or maybe Leader class, and Bumblebee could have been a deluxe class. Like, make Starscream a Voyager, make Optimus a Voyager or a Leader class, and make Megatron a Leader class, and then make Bumblebee a deluxe. I think that would have been better for these figures in terms of just everything, size, scaling, engineering, everything. It would have been a lot better to me. And with Optimus, you probably would have gotten his like extended piece of the train, because right now you just get the main train portion of Optimus. You don't get his quote unquote trailer for the train, which is unfortunate. I think that's a big part of his design, especially for train mode. And I just feel like something's missing when you look at his train mode. It looks like something from Thomas the Train back in like 2005 or something. It looks very cartoony and not as like badass steampunk old school like how it was depicted in the comic books, if that makes sense. But the packaging looks great. I think the details on that are cool, and the way it opens up and presented with the figures I think is really nice. But I feel like they're also simplified too. Like, you look at the back of the box, and it says these things transform in 19 steps for Optimus and 18 steps for Starscream. Now, obviously, those counts are always wrong. There's either more steps or there's less, or whatever the case is. Just looking at these, you could tell they're simplified because of them being deluxe. And they're a bit more stumpy looking and chunky looking because of them being deluxes and how small deluxes are nowadays. And it really takes away from that, like, how, I don't know how to explain it, just the way they were drawn in the comics. It's a lot more stylistic and sleeker in badass proportions, if you will. And you don't really get that with the deluxe figures. They're a lot more chunky and stumpy looking. And I feel like with the details even, like, I feel like we should have gotten a wash with these because of how they're depicted in the vehicles that they transform into and the time period they come from. I feel like that would have sold the idea of what Hearts of Steel and these designs are from the comics, especially with maybe even some comic shading instead of just like a wash. I think that would have been even better too. Like, really bring out some of those sculpted details that are already on the figures that aren't missing. I think that would have sold them better for them being Hearts of Steel figures. And as well, it looks like they don't have wrist swivel, both of them. And for the price of, these are like $60, $59.99 on Hasbro, if I remember correctly here. Let me double check. Yeah, $60. So 2 deluxes, that's supposed to be $50. Not 60, unless if I'm doing, no, I mean, it's $50 for 2 deluxes. So they added an extra $10 onto these for some reason. I don't know for sure. Obviously, I'm not an insider at Hasbro. I didn't work on these figures, so I don't know. But what I will say is, it seems like it doesn't feel like you're getting your money's worth. These are deluxe class figures. They should be $50, but they're $60 on Hasbro. You don't really see anything extra added for it because of those $10. Maybe you could argue it's because of the brand new engineering and them having to be exclusives. Like these are brand new molds sold as exclusives on Hasbro. I don't know how that would work, but that could be a reasoning. It could be anything, honestly. I don't know for sure why they're $10 more than what they really should be. But what I do know is it looks like they didn't really put those $10 into anything. Maybe it's the plastic quality. They're using a bit more durable plastic than usual with deluxe class figures. Maybe even the parts count is higher. Like they're in between Voyager and Deluxe, but they're not quite Voyager. They're not quite Deluxe. So, but these look like Deluxe. They don't look like they're a little bit above what a Deluxe class figure usually is. Like these look like you wouldn't bat an eye if they were put in the mainline waves for Age of the Primes Deluxes. They don't look that different from anything else we get with Deluxe class. So I'm just struggling with that. There's no wrist swivel. There's a lot of hollowness on these, like on the legs for Starscream and on the forearms you see it. And for 10 more bucks, you would expect no hollowness on these and wrist swivel, but we don't get either of that. And the paint is lacking. The paint is severely lacking, if you ask me. Starscream, he's supposed to have a lot more paint on him with the black and gold. Optimus, I feel like they painted him a bit better because there's less broken up colors on his design. But there's still details missing on him. It's a little drab in certain areas. And obviously this isn't perfect recreations to the comic book design. Like they did take liberties for the engineering and articulation. Like nothing is ever going to be perfect in terms of a comic to physical toy recreation. I feel like they really wet the bed a little in terms of just the overall look of these things. But I don't know, that could be me. I do still think these look good for what they are. I just feel like they're a bit overpriced, and Hasbro didn't go to the limit they could have gone with these figures, especially with how insane the designs are in the comics and how great they are. But yeah, guys, I don't want to ramble on too much longer. Let me know down in the comments below. How do y'all feel about these Hearts of Steel 2-packs? I don't think we've seen the Megatron and Bumblebee one in hand yet. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I couldn't find like in-hand fan images of those yet. But if those drop, or if I find them, I'll do a separate video talking about those as well, because these 2-packs are really interesting. It's a crazy time for Hasbro Transformers. A lot of random mainline stuff is coming. And I never really thought they would do Hearts of Steel stuff, regardless of how I think these came out. I'm still really grateful that they're dipping their hand in this era of Transformers in the comics. And hopefully we do get some more figures, despite how I feel about these, because I am really curious to see how Hasbro would tackle more of these designs. But yeah, let me know down in the comments below how do y'all feel about this 2-pack in hand here. And yeah, thank y'all for watching this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye!